Good morning, everybody. My name is Jessie Powers. I'm coming to you from Ohio this morning. It's afternoon here. But regardless, it's a beautiful day. And this song is to affirm that it will also be a beautiful day for you, Center for Spiritual Living, Los Angeles. So let's go. I wake up early to the morning sun. I don't know how it does it every day. It rises up and then it falls again, born only to die away. Look in the mirror and I see myself. I don't know how I do it every day. Standing on this big blue rock, not knowing what I'm doing here, still believing there's a reason, keep on keeping on my way. Each time I open my eyes, that's when I get to decide how I am gonna show up and show out in this life. Everybody get up. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Sing it with me. Everybody get up. Do a little dance. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Do it again. Everybody get up. Oh, it's a beautiful day. One more time. Everybody get up. Oh, 'cause it's a beautiful day. Look at the clock, it's running day and night. Got no control in those little clock hands. A little soldier just marching through time. I'm so glad I am not a clock, I am alive and I can choose to dance. Each time I open my eyes, that's when I get to decide how I am gonna show up and show out in this beautiful life. Everybody get up. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Affirm it. Everybody get up. Oh, it's a beautiful day. That's right, Run Keith. Everybody get up. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Everybody get up. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Oh, get up, get up, get up, and be grateful. Say, I'm up, I'm up, I'm up, and I'm thankful. Get up, oh, get up, oh, get up, and be grateful. I'm up, and I'm ready to play. Everybody, get up, 'cause it is a beautiful day. Everybody, get up, oh, 'cause it's a beautiful day. Yeah, yeah. Everybody, get up, oh, 'cause it's a beautiful day. One more time. Everybody, get up, oh, 'cause it's a beautiful day.
Yes, it is. I see, though, that I guess Robert, who's hosting us, has the settings set up that you can only see one person on the screen at the time. So they didn't get to see my fun dancing.
Oh no,
So it was just you and me doing the dancing.
I feel pretty lucky that I got a private
You got a private
viewing of that.
dance.
We
That
were
was
like
it. Yeah,
a dance
it's a
party.
beautiful day. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And good morning to those of you joining from the morning part of the world, even though we were just informed through that message that thank God we're not a clock or a calendar. Because if we were a
Right.
calendar, we were about to go over the edge.
Become absolutely useless. Would be obsolete.
Well, certainly our last digit would change, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, of the four that we're holding on to, one will be changing. So, hi, Jessie Powers,
Hi, Keith Cox.
or Jessica Powers, as your PayPal refers to you. So,
It's true. That is my
that's
legal
fine.
name.
Your legal name. So, and you're coming to us from Ohio. You said earlier that you're so happy to be home and you've had an easy morning and you're doing this, and then you're off to get a little pump going on at the gym. So good
Yep.
for you. Good
Gotta
for
pump
you.
it up, take care of this
I know,
body.
baby.
Yeah.
I know. For me, it's more cardio work than it is pump stuff, but I get it.
I
A
love
little
cardio
too,
too.
me too. It's a little too, not well, a little chilly here, but I was, had my self, how do I say this? I was corrected last night
Oh.
when I was saying it's cold here. And my friend from New York was like, "Oh, honey, that's not cold." Like, he's like, "Oh, these Southern Californians, they're just weak and pathetic." And I'm like, "Hey, slow down there, cowboy." Like,
This
like,
is the annual debate between
it's
the
like,
regions here.
I'm like,
Yes.
well, it's all perspective, right? So,
Completely. It's all
it's,
relative. I have a sister that lives in Texas.
yeah.
She thinks, 55 degrees is cold, and that makes sense
Well,
because,
because it is, yeah.
right, for her, it
Cold
is.
and wet and damp here today, but beautiful. Just as the song, the lyrics of your song said, I get to wake up, open my eyes, and make a choice, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, I'm going to make a choice to ask Robert to go into the settings and edit so that when two of us are on the screen, we can see both of us. So, because as I'm looking on YouTube, it's only showing one of us at a time. And so right
Uh,
now I'm looking at you, but everyone else is only looking at you, but then they were looking at me. But so I'm sure that'll get worked out throughout the day. So I look forward to sharing this time with you.
Me too. I can't wait.
So Robert and Travis will figure out the settings part. I know they will. So, all right. So see you in a bit.
See you soon.
Good morning, everyone. You've experienced a very animated, or you have not experienced an animated conversation, one-sided of it, but both our wonderful Jessica Powers and I were having a chat just about life itself as we come together on this last Sunday in the calendar year 2024. And if you live your life as we all do in so many ways, because of the world we live in, somewhat monitored or gauged by the Gregorian calendar. It is the last one in the year 2024. So welcome. I'm Reverend Dr. Keith Cox, and my title here is Spiritual Leader for the Center for Spiritual Living. And we are a community that comes together and have for well over 30 years to honor the divine, that is, I was waiting for the word to come up. So we honor the divine that is expressed in all of its magnificence and all of its glory by means of you and by means of me. It's the ever-present, infinite, omniscient power that is, and it is you. And so today we come together to celebrate the you and the consciousness that is you, and to acknowledge that as a power and as an entity and as a thing itself, as Dr. Ernest Holmes refers to it as, and to have each of us remember and be reminded of the power that we're imbued with, and to take a moment in time, if we're going to use time a little bit today, to be an opportunity for us to remember that we are expressions of mind itself. And so today we are going to have a good bit of multimedia, and I'm going to start with putting our slide on the screen. That is our welcoming slide, and just reminding you that as a community, our vision statement is supporting individuals finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. I invite each of us to have that spiritual awakening as we anchor ourselves into this energy that in our philosophy we call God, but as you'll learn throughout my message today, we call it through many other names. And what's important for each and all of us is to be open to whatever name we decide to use and call it whenever we're using it and whenever we're calling it. We come together and say hello, as it shows on the screen, by moving into an act of namaste. Namaste, as I say each and every Sunday morning, in its most Western means, is that coming together and putting hands together as we see on the screen, placing it on our heart, or close to our heart chakra, if you will, and taking a deep breath in, and as we exhale out, saying namaste, feeling the energy and hearing it in a new way, and knowing that in traditional Western terminology, namaste in this way means the God in me, the power in me, the source in me, the thing itself in me, honors and acknowledges that within you. And then bow forward. And then rising back up, receiving that power, that thing, that God, that essence that is in you, that is now honoring that in me. Let's do that together again. Taking a deep breath in and exhaling. And before we bow now, let's hear the Sanskrit definition of the word namaste, which is I bow to thee, the power itself. Not in an act of supplication, but in an act of honoring and acknowledging and welcoming an expanded awareness of it in. And so bringing our hands together continually in prayer position, taking a deep breath in. And as we exhale, bending forward, just feeling that awakening, a rising of the awareness and back up. Touching our heart again. Prayer position again to our lips. And opening. Good morning and good afternoon, and wherever and whenever you may be joining us, welcome. At the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, we teach primarily the philosophy, faith, and way of life known as the science of mind. The science of mind is a new thought philosophy, meaning that at the time it came into being, which was this new thought type of philosophy, the latter part of the 19th century and into the early part of the 20th century. And the book called The Science of Mind was published first in 1926, almost 100 years ago. And one of the things that drew me to this teaching, and I know to each and every one of you, is that we look at this power that exists within us, the thing itself, as an omniscient, omnipresent, infinite, impersonal, creative power that we both experience and express through our mind. That impersonal part is important to gather and garner in a new way, because what it means is that it does not have the ability to choose. It just is. However, in its essence and nature, as we become individualized, we have the ability to choose how we use it. We teach our philosophy, faith practitioners, individuals, those of you that participate here, to use it in a way that is effectively through our minds to think and reflect and act upon it and the qualities that we're imbued with as it, which are peace and power and beauty and joy and light and life and love and wisdom. To focus on those qualities of life, because we live in a universe that's governed by spiritual law, which means that that which we choose to be is reflected back to us in life as experience, as circumstances, as opportunities. And so because we have choice, we get to decide how it is that we want to think. And because it's impersonal, it's not bound by precedent, therefore meaning. We're not bound to how we've thought before. We have the opportunity to change our thinking and change our life. And so now to look at our vision statement, which is supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening, we get to see this vision statement anew and to participate it anew as we choose to be open to the awakenings and opening to the empowerment itself. And so we come together and honor all of life itself. I love this visual on the screen as we can see all the individualizations of the thing itself, kind of encompassed in that, knowing that we're all different and that's the way it's supposed to be. My favorite Ernest Holmes quote of all times, the spirit has placed the stamp of individuality upon itself and called it you. We welcome all races, all religions, all countries of origins, all sexual orientations, all genders, all abilities. We stand with you and with purpose and intention, consciously make the decision that you're safe here just as you are. We know in our philosophy, faith, and way of life that our verbal word has power. And so I invite you to say the words that are on the screen together with me. We welcome one and we welcome all. Just feeling that energy of those words and take them in individually and collectively, both using them as an invitation, we welcome one and we welcome all, as well as to feel being the recipient of that. We welcome one and we welcome all. We open each of our services with a ritual. We call it the morning ritual because where we gather, typically it is morning, but it's just simply a ritual. But with a morning in this context of the song that Jesse just sang as the opportunity to begin anew. We've awakened to the day that's in front of us. Day not as a measurement of time, but as a metaphor for starting anew. And so this ritual that's called Calling in the Light, today we're going to do a version of it called Lighting the Flames of Faith. To continue with the visual that we had a moment ago of welcoming one and welcoming all, as we begin this turn of the wheel of time from 2024 to 2025, the modern world, I invite you to open yourself to see the individualizations of the divine in a new way and those that practice faiths in a new way. And so we light the candle that we saw on the screen a moment ago as not a literal lighting of the candle, even though I did come in and light one just a moment ago so that I could experience that. And I'm going to invite you to do that in the privacy of your own home, or just to remember that each time you light one, we're lighting the flames of faith for this, for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium known as the natural way. And we light it for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality, as well as for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, of action, and devotion. For Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. And for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. And all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. And all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. As well as for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and of peace. And for all forms of New Thought, what we practice here, as stated earlier, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We bring all of that together and declare this candle that we've lit literally here for myself and all of us, and metaphorically on the screen. Calling it the healing candle, I ask you to take a moment and to silently put into the light anyone or everyone, which may include yourself, into this light of the healing flame so that all may experience the eternal and everlasting love of the divine. And then looking at the flames on the screen, taking in the graphics of the peace sign, the statement, "Be the change and justice for all," affirming that that shall be a part of our experienced and expressed reality in this new year to come, beginning right now. And we take in this Buddhist prayer for peace. In our teaching, we use these words of "may all" as an affirmation, not a supplication. So I invite you to hear it that way, as if it's a spiritual mind treatment, declaring one and all experiences is. May all beings everywhere plagued with sufferings of body and mind quickly be freed from their illness. And may those frightened cease to be afraid. And may those bound be free. May the powerless find power, and may people think of befriending one another. May those who find themselves in trackless, fearful wilderness, the children, the aged, the unprotected, be guarded by beneficial celestials, and may they swiftly attain Buddhahood. What that means in our teaching is a spiritual awakening, a remembrance of who we are as a divine being. I invite Jessie back to sing along with us, or to ask us to sing along with her, the song "Calling in the Light." And before she begins, I'd just like to remind you that my acronym for light is living in God's healing truth. So as we invite that in today, let's know that that's what we're doing for ourselves and all that were referenced in the flames of faith, and for everyone on our planet. Jessie?
Calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love. all together. We are whole, calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love. Calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love.
And so it is.
So it is.
You can just feel the energy transformation as you sang that song, and bringing in the visual of, I love that little graphic on the screen, and it gives us all a visual of the opportunity to see people in a new way, right? And to welcome them, and to just, not that we don't all already do that to the best of our ability, but getting caught up in everyday life, oftentimes we forget. And it's just a reminder that to call in the light, which is energy of the divine, and to honor that in each other. I often think about walking through life, if we could just even have the thought of namaste in our head, right? To just honor that.
Oh,
We don't
yeah.
have to necessarily stop and bow to everybody. It doesn't mean we can't do it, but just remember that as we're out and about journeying through life, right? Yeah. What song do you have for us next, Jesse?
One of my favorites of my own, which is called "The Love Song of Everything,"
Mm.
and
Hmm.
it's kind of interesting. It's a little of what you're saying, but in reverse. So,
Uh-huh.
seeing everything as if it sees you and acknowledges you as the divine. That
I
everything is a
love
reminder,
it.
everything is like the divine singing its love song to you.
That's going to lead perfectly into my message, so I can't wait to hear it.
Oh, good. I love how that happens. So, for everyone listening, your only task during this song is to breathe. Just nice deep inhales and exhales. I don't want to give words to this. Anything you have to interpret will only eclipse the heart of it. I just want to send it in sound with a wavelength clarity. Ooh, nothing I could ever say will resonate the same way that this love does in me. Inhale, exhale, breathe. Somewhere in the beat of your heart, there I am. And somewhere underneath all the war-torn believing, there you have always been. It's something like a melody, it's something like a song, and it sings itself and it's never wrong. Oh, everywhere it plays for me, it's always on repeat. It's the love song of everything. Inhale, exhale, breathe. It's not just there in my body. It's not just there in the thoughts that I think. It's there in the roots, in the skies, and this is the wind and the wings, and the will be, the ever was, the reason and the just because. I am the song that I sing. Inhale and exhale.
Wow. Love it. The simplicity of breath.
Mm.
And yet it's very complex, and we should be deeply appreciative that we have it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Until we don't.
Mm-hmm.
And then be appreciative that we've had it.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
Love
breath is such a beautiful thing because it's one of the only things that is involuntary and voluntary
it.
at the same time, that we can
Yeah.
do both. Amazing.
Yes,
And you
it
just
is.
wake up and the whole night you've been breathing the whole time. How does that happen? It blows my mind, honestly.
And sometimes snoring along with it. Yes. So,
True.
yes.
That's another kind of love song.
I know when I've been snoring too loud because my beloved four-legged spiritual offspring, Sweeney, her predecessor is in the green before, on the wall
Oh,
before me, but she gets up and shakes to like, "Hey, wake up! You're too loud."
I can't sleep
And
through
she literally
that.
looks at me like, "Okay, are you up now?" I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Okay." Then she gets back in her bed and goes to sleep. So the Lord works in mysterious ways, you know. All right, thank you for that. So beautiful and so touching, and definitely a wonderfully lead in to my message today. So thank you. So you guys will see, am sharing a multimedia that to be very transparent with you, that I created for us quite some time ago, and I forgot I had it, and I had a completely different message prepared for us today. And yesterday I was going through something and I came across this, and I thought, how perfect is this to use as a guide for us to release and let go of the old and open up to the new for this calendar year, and to not get overly attached to the shift of the Gregorian calendar, but to use it as an opportunity to just that, release and let go, and move into that which is the new. I'm going to let that candle, the flickering flame over my shoulder, just continue to burn during this message, so that we can all let it be a reminder to us of the transformation that's always possible in life. Well, I'll let that speak for itself. So here we go. Our message for today. I really wanted us to take a look at the power of life, the thing itself, and actually what we use the word here as God. Some of you may have an issue with that word, and it may trigger stuff in you, and the purpose is not to do that today, but for us to use our mind in a way to open up to look at this thing, God, this energy, this creative force that is within all of us in life itself. It shows on the screen here that there are almost 5,000 gods worshipped by humanity, but it says here, don't worry, only yours is right. And what that means is not that yours is right because it's yours, but yours is right because when one tunes into what it means to you, and it's my intention today that what it means to you is an evolving perspective, that it's that you're constantly allowing yourself to define and redefine and use what works and let go of old ideas of the word itself and the power itself that is transcendent within all of us. And I love the graphic that is on the screen now that is of the cosmos. Because for me personally, I often look into the vastness of the cosmos and give myself the gift to think differently of the power, to realize that that animating principle of being, which Ernest Holmes called life, which he also causes, life is a quality of the thing itself, this creative force, is the same force that is creative and cause to that which we see out into the cosmos. And it's that which is billions and billions of galaxies, which contain billions and billions of universes and stars and forces of light. And all of that can be distilled down, if you would, for the purpose of understanding, to one energy. And it's that which is you, and it's that which is me. Dr. Holmes calls it, Ernest Holmes, the first cause. He also calls it the great I am. He also calls it the unborn or the uncreated, as well as it is called the absolute or the unconditioned. A lot of names just in our philosophy, faith, and way of life and teaching alone that references the exact same thing, and yet it's that which is so undifferentiated and yet seemingly different as we perceive it and individualize it as the one and the only. I'd like to read to you today some of the definitions that he uses for this power. The first cause, that which is the, and just a reminder as I'm reading it, to hear it anew while at the same time realizing you've heard it before, and let that resonance feel be a spark and a stimulus within you to begin to perceive it in a new way, and through that new perception be a catalyst for how you choose to express it as yourself and to see it in all of life, a way to both perceive and participate in it in a new way today. First cause, that which is the cause of all things, the uncreated from which all creation springs, the cause of all that is manifest on any plane, that which comes first, the first in any creative series. The first cause is both masculine and feminine in its nature and includes the intermediate principle of creative activity. Includes the intermediate principle of creative activity, meaning is that which causes creation, and it is that which is the activity that brings it forth into form. It's the great I am. I love this component of it because it's saying it's the great I am. It is that which you and I individualize, and as we honor and acknowledge it, we get to experience and express more and more of that which it is. It's the unborn one. It is that not just unborn in the form of human taking form or manifestation that is a breathing form, that which has the ability to breathe, but it is that which has yet to take form. It is the energy that becomes manifested, while at the same time it is that which is the force that gives life to that which is manifested, whether it's human, sentient, and or tangible, right? Meaning like wood or trees or food, right? And yet it's also that which is uncreated, waiting to be created. He also calls it the absolute or the unconditioned. The absolute being defined in the textbook, The Science of Mind, as this: the unconditioned, that which nothing can limit, that which forever transcends any conceivable limitation or determination. Unconditioned perfection, self-existent, self-sufficient, often used as a synonym for God. Truth is absolute and remains unaffected by the opinions, desires, or beliefs of the human. That's a big idea, and one that is critical to engage in and participate in and play with and question and open up to the truth of that, in the sense that in our philosophy, faith, and way of life, we must be willing to understand and know that the power itself is unaffected by our thoughts of it, our opinions of it, our desires of it, or our beliefs around it. It doesn't mean that we don't have a different experience of it relative to that, but it is unaffected. And it cannot respond to us being affected by what we think about it. Now, I know this is very heady, but I want us to get that, because what it reminds us or lets us know in a new way is, unlike in traditional spirituality or religion, it doesn't respond to us based on what our opinion is of it or its opinion of us, because it cannot have an opinion. However, it does seem as if it responds to us based on our opinion, but all it's responding to is our state of mind. It's impersonal. So it's not responding to what we think about it, but it responds to how we think, period. Which takes us back to that great statement, which I tuned into right away in this philosophy, faith, and way of life. If you want your life to be changed, change your thinking. In other words, change your thinking, change your life. So then, as we begin to look into the vast cosmos, as we see on the screen, an example of that, let's begin to change our thinking around what is possible in life, and to give ourselves the gift and the blessing and the opportunity to change our thinking around the energy itself of the one and only. One of the core foundational components of our teaching is that there is only one thing taking place. Big idea. When you look at the cosmos, you know that there's billions of expressions of it in energy form, as well as there is walking this earth. It's not bound by quantity, because there's only one thing taking place. But then that thing individualizes itself through you and through me. So then, how do we engage in it more? How do we be it more? How do we allow it to express itself through us more? Well, I love this graphic that says, well, God wants to talk to you. I put that in there specifically so that we can begin to tune into the thing itself is doing its thing through us. And the more that it gets to do itself through us, unencumbered by thoughts that don't reflect what it is, in other words, thoughts of fear or disbelief or angst or pity or less than, because it responds to us by corresponding, then it provides experiences in life that reflect that. And so it wants to be more of itself through us, being exemplified in this statement as talking to us. It may be talking, it may not be talking, but it is definitely wanting to express itself through us, as us, all the time. And so the question is, are you listening? Both in human listening, as it can talk to us, but listening meaning being tuned into it as peace, as power, as the unconditioned, as the allness of everything, as beauty, as joy, as light, as love. It's there, waiting in smiling repose, if you will, for you and I to tune into it. And once again, we've learned already that there's 5,000 expressions of it, meaning being referred to it as in spirituality and religion. But the question is, are you listening? And where in your life can you begin to listen and tune in more? To let go of that limiting belief. I love this graphic on the screen that says, this one has attitude, meaning the one that's screaming up from above, why am I not experiencing more of you? The one, the only, the unconditioned, the thing itself. And it responds back and says, check your attitude at the door, sister, brother, mother, father, and open up to the vastness of what I am. Looking at the graphic on the screen to remind us that it's always there, readying itself to be more of itself through you and through me. And that requires you and I to be willing, to be open to allowing it in everyday experiences to show itself to us, and to not bind ourselves by previous definitions or perceptions or experiences of how it has incarnated itself through you and through me. Don't let old ideas bind us to that, or to what we think it should be expressing itself as itself through us. This Gene Wilder character, which I think is from The Chocolate Factory, says, "Oh, you think you know better than God? Tell me, where is the universe you created ex nihilo?" In other words, get your bloated, arrogant nothingness out of the way of what you think God should be, or the thing should be, or the universe should be, and be open to a new way of it expressing itself through you. This has been a journey for me the last month or so, and I've had so many fabulous, wonderful experiences of it showing up. Just recently, I was out walking, listening to the power, the thing itself, saying, "Show me, show me, show me." And I was out doing something that was personally of great importance to me as a remembrance of someone who had passed away, and a practice that a friend of mine and I used to always do. And as I stepped up on the curb, I looked down. Sorry. It's showing us the power right now, reminding us that it has power, because that candle was too bright. Hold on. So that will stop at some point as I've now opened the door. But I'll be right there. Isn't that an example of the universe talking to us? Okay, shut up, enough.
I really want to break out into like
Do
a
it.
verse of This Little Light of Mine.
Do it. Do it right
This
now.
little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Everybody, this little light of mine. Oh, it stopped.
It stopped. But what a great example, right? A real-time example of when you least expect it. It talks to us from beyond. And it just did, saying the room is too smoky, right? So how often in life do we go through life not paying attention to when the room is too smoky, or thinking we can overpower, right? And yet what we have to do is open up, which I just did, a channel for the thing itself to manifest itself in different ways. It's now manifesting itself in ways, and also have the wisdom to take the candle out of the room. It's important to us to remember that that's always there. I was telling the story of how, as I stepped up on the curb, engaged in this experience of my life of both reminiscing of what was important to me and being open to what is to come, right on the sidewalk were the words, "We are one." Now, the reason that that had such significance to me, and does, is that the person that I was thinking of in that moment, that I used to share this ritual with, that we would do during the holidays, was with me the day that we were in Malawi for the first time, opening our first school there. And I was presented to speak before thousands of Malawians, many students, many teachers. I knew in that moment I did not speak Chichewa, and I didn't know what to say to them. And as things are being translated, I looked out into the world of these individuals, the Malawians, and put my fingers together and chanted to them, "Say with me, we are one. We are one." And we started chanting that statement. And a shift in my life and theirs unfolded. Today, my entire purpose of sharing this God message is to remind us of who we are as a divine being, and to be open to these experiences, and to believe that every experience that shows up in life is a reminder for us to remember the power that we're all imbued with, and to allow it to be a guide for us. The great Michael Singer, from the book on The Untethered Soul, tells us this: you're not your thoughts, you are aware of your thoughts. You're not your emotions, you feel your emotions. You're not your body, you look at it in the mirror and experience this world through its eyes and ears. Now hear that again. You look at it in the mirror and experience. We all experience this world through its eyes and ears. But we're the conscious being who is aware that you are aware of all of these inner and outer things. The conscious being. The whole point of today is to become more conscious of that which we are, and its vastness, and the possibilities that exist because of it. To remember that we are the power of the divine fully expressed, and yet there's only so many things we can do as it. Whereas the universe you created, right? We are God, but yet we are an individualized expression of it, being the channel and the vehicle by which first cause does its thing. To remember that we are the great I am. We're an individualization of that which is. In spiritual mind treatment, that great tool that Ernest Holmes gave us to use as an affirmative prayer, the first step is to acknowledge that this power is there, that the first cause is there. And the second is that I am an expression and an individualization of it, which means that as I choose to allow it to be that which is me in a conscious way, I can use it in a way to create a great shift in life, my life and life itself. And to be open to the greatness that it is, and to use the gifts and the tools that we've been given in both repetitious ways, but in repetitious ways of being anew and renewed in it. This slide of this song, which I listen to all the time, and if I were to stick with what it meant when I would listen to it as a child, how great thou art, and let the lyrics of what it meant at the time still be true for me, I would be handicapped because it meant something different from a religious perspective, and I had a completely different attachment to the words as they were given to me, meaning that I was not a fulfilled being of the divine. I was not the great I am individualized. I was not that, because I was considered to be less than because of the way I was made. But in today's world and expression and incarnation of God that I am, it means something different. I'm going to read it to you and invite you to hear it as something different. How great thou art, O Lord my God, when I, in awesome wonder, consider all the world thy hands have made. I see the stars, the cosmos. I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout the universe displayed. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art. How great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art. How great thou art. In olden days of my life, the words my Savior God to thee meant that it was important that I saw this power as my Savior, in the sense that I must accept that so that I could have everlasting life. I knew that was never going to happen. What it means to me today, and I share it with you today, to realize is that what we're being told is that let's see it through a new perspective and to realize, oh Lord, my God, this first cause, the great I am, that which is impersonal and infinite by nature. Wow. When I'm in awesome wonder of it, when I am in wonder of that which is, now looking at the cosmos, remember, and consider all the worlds thy hands have made, both in physical form and in expression as individuals, and that which is not bound by time or space. And when I see the stars and I hear the rolling thunder, and I witness the power throughout the universe displayed, then that which is within me, which is it, which is the resonance field that reflects it as peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom. Wow, my soul sings because I remember that I am imbued with the ability to choose and to tune in and to tap in and to turn on to it. That's my Savior, my remembrance of that which I am. That then gives you and I the opportunity to become more spiritually awakened on our journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening, realizing that the saving is not some outside job. It's an inside job of remembering who we are and remembering who everyone else is too. That we are really invited in moment by moment, thought by thought, to have a spiritual awakening, a remembrance of who we are, and to use our power that we're imbued with to think anew. I love this quote that tells us all the pleasures which the world can give are nothing compared with the priceless riches and happiness which comes from a daily communion with God. You get to decide, as do I, what does that communion feel like and look like? And are we willing to let it be different moment by moment? opportunity by opportunity. And to remember that it matters not what we call this power, for all it is a high vibrational frequency. It matters not if we call it the divine. It matters not if we call it God. It matters not if we call it spirituality or source or quantum energy. But it does matter that we commune with it and to continue to be on a journey of spirit and to walk with faith. Faith meaning a full assurance in the heart, meaning that we're here, just as the song that Jesse sang about of the breath of life and love, to stay tuned into it giving more of itself to us, through us, because that's the only way it can. And to be open to the miracles of it showing up. Just recently, I was walking and listening to this healer on my iPods as I'm out on my cardiovascular activity with my dear Sweeney. And I shared this, I believe, the other day with someone. And as I looked up, I saw this woman step out from behind a car, someone who I love dearly. I hadn't seen in a while. And she's like, "Oh my God." And I was like, "Oh my God." And she goes, "I know, I can't believe you're here." And I'm like, what I can't believe, and yet I can, was just as I was about to step out and see you step out, in my ear, this healer was saying, it's important for all of us to remember expressions of source that timing is everything. And I said to her, the words had just said, timing is everything, and poof, she showed up. The thing for you and I to remember is that's always unfolding in our life. And to tune into that activity of listening to God, not just in the sense of hearing, but meaning being receptive to its mystery, to its magic, to its manifestation. This quote on the screen tells us, pray not until God hears you, but until you listen to God. As I was looking at that for today, it reminded me of one of my great teachers, many of whom you all knew, named David Walker. And he used to say, don't tell God how big your problems are. Tell your problems how big your God is. Something you and I cannot hear too often. To remember that no matter where we are on the journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening, this infinite, omniscient, omnipresent power that is boundless by nature is not only not bound by precedent, it's not bound at all, but it's there ready to tell us something and waiting for us to tell life what we know about it. And so today we're all brought into an awareness, an opportunity of receptivity to begin to tune in a new way to the newness of the thing that itself. This little chat on the screen is like the thing itself is saying, do you love me? And it's obviously a play on words. And your response is wondering, God, if we could chat maybe later. What it's telling us is that you and I need to remember that the only moment that we have to fine-tune our receptivity to it is now. It's now. And we only get now, right now. And then right now. And then right now. So today, let's tune into the cosmos, which is always there, both as that which we look out into and see into the night sky, that which is different. Just this morning, I was sharing with my neighbor. It was very dark and foggy here, and as I looked out my door to take Sweeney out, I have a new neighbor across the street, and their car was backed up into their driveway, and they drive a Tesla with this big windshield screen that goes up a portion of over their roof. And the way that the light was hitting the screen, it was this, almost like what I'm looking at now, was this reflected cosmic experience. And the only thing that I could see other than fog was the refraction of the light of this windshield that was sparkling. And it reminded me of the multidimensionality that we all have before us to see and to feel. And it's through that act of feeling that you and I get to tune in to the now in a new way. Tune in to having a spiritual awakening in a new way. What is a spiritual awakening? It's to remember that who and what you and I are, and we've always been, is this: an infinite, immortal sea of consciousness, one with all that exists. And to not live as an intellectual understanding of this, and I know that you know what I mean by that, to not just know that we know, but to have a real and tangible experience in our life and as a lifestyle of seeing it, of feeling it, of knowing it, of expressing it, of being open to it showing up in funky and wild and wondrous and wonderful ways, because it always is showing up in funky and wonderful and wondrous ways. The smoke detector going off. We are one showing up on the sidewalk, preparing for this, talking about the cosmos and seeing the windshield out there that's a refraction and a reflection of that which is always there. In our ear, hearing the words, timing is everything. Yesterday, my dear friend who I like to dine with on Saturday nights, and a dear friend of hers, constantly when I think, oh, are we going to gather together on this Saturday night, I get a text from her. I got a text from her yesterday, a screen, I'll show you in a moment just what popped up. What's important for us to remember is that we're constantly having a deepest communion with the thing itself, which is beyond words, and it's always on the other side of silence, meaning that it's always there waiting to communicate with us. To have this communion, which is a sharing or exchanging of intimate thoughts and feelings, especially when the exchange is on a mental or spiritual level. And today, what I want us to walk away from all of this with is to tune into the exchange of the spiritual, of that which is transcendent of the physical, and yet may show up, and so often does, showing up on the physical. This slide is what popped up when I got the text from my friend yesterday. Spontaneity, a way of life. What it's telling us is today is the day that you and I get to tune in to being more spontaneous, into tuning in to our spiritual awakenings. And what a great thing to invite in, to declare for ourselves as our reality, as we're moving into this worldly, and it is a worldly acknowledgement of a shift in that which we call time by the rolling of the clock from 2024 to 2025. Today, lets you and I open up to our journey starting anew. And to remember that it's not what's about to happen next. It's not about what's about to happen tomorrow. It's not about what's about to happen later. It's about what is happening now. And just as Jesse so beautifully prepared us for this message and all of its chaos today, and all of its depth, and all of its inspiration, and all of its funness, and all of its uniqueness, is that you and I can welcome in the now as we breathe in and exhale, and to tune into the light that is always there for us as we live in God's healing truth. But the key to that is to being open, to being tuned in, to create a shift in our perception and our awareness of the presence as you, as me, as it, which is all the same thing. And so let's live in the light, moment by moment by moment. And to remember that sometimes that requires courage and bravery. The great Atticus says there's nothing so brave in the whole wide world as a candle daring to live on in the wind. The one that we had lit here a while ago, it needed to live somewhere else. It let us know that by tuning in to that beeping sound, meaning that where it was too confined for the way that it was expressing itself. Today, I know that you and I are too confined by an idea and a definition of how we had defined God prior to now. And so today, let's you and I have a personal light bulb moment to open ourselves up to what God is as you, as me, and to make a decision that we're not going to be aggravated or pissy or afraid or concerned with 2024 becoming 2025, that we're going to continue to have light bulb moments and light bulb moments and light bulb moments of it's just a shift in time. But it's one where you and I tune into God, becoming more of God in you, as you, through our awareness, through our receptivity, through our willingness, through our intention, that the moment is now. And it's one that is of magnificence, it's of glory, and it's one of you and I knowing, oh, hell yeah, how great thou art. As you, as me, as it. And we decide together to breathe in and to breathe out and to be open. And then to breathe in and to breathe out and then to be open. I love the way it works. This is such an example that Jesse sang about breathing with no idea that the last slide we would have of the message would be about breathing. Be ready, and so it is. Amen. Thank you. Take it away, Jesse.
Well, I got very inspired by your message just now. I love how things work out like that. This song's called Songbird, and it's talking about how, yes, we can live our lives sort of mindlessly, but when we really get out of our own way, we leave ourselves available and free completely to sing the song of our souls. Sometimes I am a songbird, singing high harmony atop the hemlock. I play my precious part in the earthly symphony. And sometimes I am a human. I still sing, but it's not the same. A human sings because she has something to say, but a songbird sings because it's the only way. All control is just illusion. No, it's freedom we possess. It's such a small price to let go of what we do not have, to remember we are infinite. Brother, sister, do you remember me? Brother, sister, oh, I remember you. Brother, sister, do you remember me? Brother, sister, oh, I remember you. Every soul is a songbird, and every life is a song. Every moment, the definition of perfection, beyond right, never wrong. Oh, brother, sister, do you remember me? Brother, sister, oh, I remember you. Brother, Sometimes I am a songbird, singing high harmony.
So lovely. You're always a songbird.
Thank you.
Very Joni Mitchell-esque, that song.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love Joni Mitchell.
Is that an original, that song?
That is, yeah.
Yeah, so beautiful.
Thank you.
So, so beautiful. Thank you for being here today. I know you moved your schedule around a little bit to do this, so thank you.
I did, yeah. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah,
So thanks for
really,
having
really,
me.
really appreciate it. So good. Well, it's always a delight to have you with us. You're just so fabulous and welcoming, and thank you for doing what you do out in the world. So wonderful. Thank you to all of you for being here today and having sharing your time and space with us as we have the last Sunday of this year. And I know for each and every one of you that whatever decisions you make to celebrate the transformation and change, it's one that brings you great peace and comfort and joy. And the only invitation that I have for you is to make sure that you consciously let go of what you want to let go of and open up to what you're ready to let in, and know that today was a great opportunity to give you some guidance in regards to that. A big thank you to Travis Smith, our audio technician, for taking such great care of us there, as well as to Robert Hensley, our social media guy, and also who oversees Zoom and YouTube, as well as our administrative assistant. Thank you to each of you and to both of you. And thank you to those of you that are on YouTube and all that participate here in part of the CSL-LA community that is far and wide. It's beyond just the space that we meet at in person once a month at 1200 North La Brea Avenue, West Hollywood, California, which will gather back together there on January 12th. And then those of you that are on our online communities, both live and at later dates when you guys watch us. We know that we have many viewers that tune in later, and donors. And so we appreciate all of you that donate of your financial good and invite you to remember us at your year-end giving and to give right now, if that's good for you. You can go to our website, csl-la.org, and to make a contribution. We invite you that if you use PayPal to include the fee that PayPal gives you the option to do there. Just to help us be as prosperous as possible. Know that that's welcome. As well as you can go to our website, csl-la.org, and our app in the App Store, both of which are great opportunities and tools to do that, as well as you can mail in a check. Our address is 1200 North La Brea Avenue, West Hollywood, California, 90036, I think. But anyway, that's all on our website. So go for it and know that all that you donate is appreciated, welcome, honored, and acknowledged, whichever means you do that, whether it's PayPal, cash, check, and or our apps or Zelle. It's all appreciated. So thank you for that. Just a reminder that we have an e-newsletter that goes out this week. I'm sharing a wonderful story that is a reminder and an example. It's called A Story from the Upanishads. That's an example of how to shift your consciousness in regards to the power that is imbued within us. That goes out tomorrow. Our new thought text for the day goes out each morning at 7:30 a.m. Our midweek morning meditation will take place this Thursday, not on New Year's Day, but on Thursday. And then after that, it'll go back to Wednesday morning. So I invite you all to put that in your calendar to join us. Our theme that kicks off for the month of January is A New Dawn Has Dayed. And so I'm a play on words of a new day has dawned, a new dawn has dayed, meaning that for each and every one of us is going to be each and every day a new dawn is showing up for us. It's reflecting much of what has been shared today, both through Jesse's fabulous and incredible music, as well as through the message that we got. So thank you for that. We're going to close out with the spiritual mind treatment, and then Jesse's going to come back on and sing this. She's good. You're good there, sister. She's going to sing us out with Let There Be Peace on Earth. And so let's just know together that where we are is in the perfect place, the perfect space, the perfect time to reveal the perfection that is. It's always there. All that we've witnessed today has been a reminder to us to remember the vastness and the infiniteness, the boundless creative energy that is within us. As we open our minds, we open our hearts, we open our willingness to give in a new way, financially and in other ways, so that we propagate the good that is within us. That good is also called God. And so today we open to a new definition, a new meaning, a new expression, and a new experience of that thing. Readying ourselves that as we come back together next Sunday morning and kick off the first chapter of the Science of Mind called The Thing Itself, we're ready and receptive to be it in a new way. Amen. And so it is. We're going to go out singing Let There Be Peace on Earth. If you're on Zoom and want to stay on and have a brief hello, we're going to do that. After that, we'll say goodbye to those of you on YouTube, and Happy New Year. Take it away.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was